My name is Shar, and I am your host for My Style Live. When fashion meets pop culture together, it is fantastic. This monthly podcast discusses all the latest music, fashion, healthcare, celebrity, sports, and business. What does a contact tracer do? Contact tracers need to quickly locate and talk with the patients, assist in arranging for patients to isolate themselves, and work with patients to identify people with whom the patients have been in close contact so the contact tracer can locate them. Style Live podcast is extremely excited to partner with Anchor in offering our top podcast advertisers the first of their kind sponsorship via the Anchor platform. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Yes, I said it is free. FREE. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your own phone and computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and others. You make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in just one place. Sign up for a free social media webinar at MyStyle Live at 1kmeg.net or visit 1kmeg.net/contact to use the offer My Style Live free webinar. Again, sign up for the free social media webinar at My Style Live at 1kmeg.net. What is contact tracing? Contact tracing is part of the process of supporting patients and warning contacts of exposure in order to stop chains of transmission. What are symptoms of COVID-19? Current symptoms reported for patients with COVID-19 have included mild to severe respiratory illness with fever, cough, and difficulty breathing. Are fines issued for not speaking to a COVID-19 contact tracer? As the numbers continue to rise for COVID-19, many cities have staffers dedicated to tracking anyone who has been in contact with infected patients. To help mitigate the spread of the virus, contact tracers must work quickly to discover who COVID-19 patients have seen weeks prior to their diagnosis and then notify those patients of their exposure. They use every means necessary to be able to reach out to individuals by phone, by mail, by personally delivering a summons to their home. Is this still enough to help identify COVID-19 patients? We have found that some people are difficult to reach. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. The only thing that's mandatory is you signing up for Anchor. What does a contact tracer do? Contact tracer needs to quickly locate. Be sure to tune in monthly for My Style Live, the fashion podcast for industry elite, covering style, business, healthcare, music, and culture. Tune in monthly for My Style Live podcast. To learn more, visit mystylelive.com. What to know about becoming a contact tracer. Demand is king, training is provided, pay exceeds minimum wage, and you can often work from home. With Americans now facing a pandemic and the highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression, COVID-19 contact tracer has become a job of the movement. Pay can range as much as $19.50 per an hour. Contact tracing, an old job with a new urgency. While contact tracing is a new concept to many Americans, public health departments have depended on contact tracers for decades to control the spread of contagious diseases from syphilis, tuberculosis, and HIV. As a contact tracer, it's not just important what you do, but how you do it. The rapport that you're able to build with cases and contacts can create trust and increase chances that the cases or contact is going to provide accurate information and cooperate with isolation and quarantine guidelines. If we are unable to get accurate information, and if they are unable to follow isolation and quarantine instructions, contact tracing will not work. So this is vital and very important part of your job. You should be assertive using simple words and communicate a simple message at a time. Always actively listening and helping to connect more effectively with cases and contacts. Be sure to combine question types so that you are able to gather accurate, thorough data from cases and contacts. And whenever possible, avoid leading questions. Contact tracing is a complex activity which requires attention to detail, problem-solving skills, and importantly, you need to be able to solve those problems with cases and contacts. The most important common error. How do people get notified if they have COVID-19? Contact tracers use a variety of methods, including phone calls, emails, and social media messaging. Some places are getting creative. They have started to use a new app called Care19. Those who download Care19 will get a random ID, and the app will anonymously identify the individual's location throughout the day. If an individual tests positive for COVID-19, they will be given the opportunity to consent and to provide their information to the Department of Health to help in contact tracing and forecasting the pandemic's progression with accurate real-time data. Apple and Google are also developing a new contact tracing technology using smartphones and Bluetooth technology to alert those who may have been in close contact with someone infected. But there are limitations to this new technology. Users will have the opt-in, and it's not clear whether enough people will do so to make the effort worthwhile. And people without smartphones would not be getting notified. So there's a little learning curve and a challenge, but we'll see what happens. People are asking questions. How much longer will the COVID-19 outbreak last? A COVID-19 outbreak could last for a long time in your community. Depending on the severity of the outbreak, public health officials may recommend community actions designed to help keep people healthy, reduce exposure to COVID-19, and allow for a slowing of the spread of the disease. Can we play sports with face coverings during COVID-19 outbreak? Well, this seems to be a question that everyone is asking. Face coverings are not intended to protect the wearer, but rather to reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19 from the person wearing the mask, who may not have any symptoms of the disease. This is called asymptomatic. Face coverings may be challenging for players, especially younger players, to wear while playing sports. How can I protect myself from COVID-19? There are currently no vaccines available for COVID-19. The best way to prevent the illness is to avoid being exposed to this virus. Everyday actions can help protect you and prevent the spread of the respiratory disease such as COVID-19. Things that you can do is avoid close contact with people who are sick. Restrict any activities outside your home and maintain a safe distance at least 6 feet from people or other individuals when you go out in public. Stay home when you are sick unless you are seeking medical care. Clean and disinfect frequently touched object surfaces, including your cell phone, tablets, keyboards, faucets, and sinks and desks. Wash your hands as often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Use alcohol-based sanitizers of at least 60% alcohol. Always wash your hands with soap and water. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, mouth, and unwashed hands. Yay! Be sure to tune in monthly for My Style Live, the fashion podcast for industry elite, covering style, business, healthcare, music, and culture. Tune in monthly for My Style Live podcast. To learn more, visit mystylelive.com.